Good day all. Today we'll continue our topic on interpolation. Now we'll be looking at an example under Lagrange's method. Our question says the following table gives the normal weight of a baby during the 6 months of life. Age in months is 0, while weight in pounds is 5. When the baby is 2 months old, his weight or her weight, the baby's weight is 7 pounds. When the baby was 3 months old, his or her weight was 8 pounds. And when the baby was 5 months old, his weight was 10 pounds. And when the baby was 6 months old, his weight was now 12 pounds. Now they're asking us to estimate the weight of the baby at the age of 4 months. Now we are using Lagrange's method because of what? The interval here are not what? Equal. So we have 2 minus 0. Is it going to be equal to 3 minus 2? It's also going to be equal to 5 minus 3 and 6 minus 5. Here we're having 2, here we're having 1, here we're having 2, here we're having 1. So they are not what? Equal. So for this reason, Newton's forward and backward and binomial method cannot be used in this case. Just the only one that will work is Lagrange's method. Now Lagrange's method, for us to start to solve, our table will be converting it to a vertical one. When we do that, we have for our age, we have 0, 2, 3, 5, and 6. For our weights, we are having 5, 7, 8, 10, and what? 12. Now our age, if you agree with me, our age can serve as our x and our weight as our what? Y. And our weight as our what? Y. Now we can also give a name to each of our values here. Let's call here x0, which is the first x, x1, x2, x3, x4. Okay, so we are having 5 values of x, but we want to get 4. So let us call for xg, which is the given value of x that we are trying to find. So in our table, we'll be making a column, creating a column for xg minus x representing the whole of this column. We're making for x0 minus x and x1 minus x, x2 minus x, x3 minus x, x4 minus x. So remember we created a column for xg, this xg minus the whole of x value, x0 being this one minus the whole of what, x value, x1 being this one minus the whole of what, x value. So we are going to be making use of this. Now let us fill in the the brackets. Now this is xg being 4. For the first row, we're going to subtract it from what, x being what, 0. So if we do that here, we'll be having 4 minus 0, which is what, 4. The next one, 4 minus what, 2, which is what, 2. The next one, 4 minus 3, which is what, 1. 4 minus 5, which is what, minus 1. 4 minus 6, which is what, minus 2. Move over to the next one. Now we are going to be using what, x0, no longer sg again. Now for x0, we're subtracting it from every x value. Now x0 minus 0 is what, 0. x0 minus 2 is minus 2. 0 minus 3 is minus 3. 0 minus 5 minus 5. 0 minus 6 minus 6. For the next one, x1, we're subtracting it from every other x value here. When we do that, we have x1 minus, we have x1 being 2. 2 minus 0, we have 2. Now for 2 minus 2, which is x1 being this minus itself, is what, 0. Next one, x2 with minus 3, we have 2 minus x1 with minus 3, will be having what, that's 2 minus 3, which is what, minus 1. Then 2 minus 5 will be what, minus 3. 2 minus 6 will be what, minus 4. Now over to the next one, you're having what, x2 being this, which is 3. So subtracting it from every other value here. When we do that, so we're having 3 minus 0, we are having what, 3. 3 minus 2, we are having what, 1. 3 minus 3, we are having what, 0. 3 minus 5, we are having 3 minus 5, we are having minus 2. 3 minus 6, we are having minus 3. Move over to the next one for this. Now we are having our x3 minus everything here. So our x3 is what, 5. So 5 minus 0 is what, 5. 5 minus 2 is what, 3. 5 minus 3 is what, 2. 5 minus itself is what, 0. 5 minus 6 is what, minus 1. Over to the next one, which is what, x4. So we're subtracting this from the rest. Now we are having 6 minus 0, 6. 6 minus 2, 6 minus 2 is 4. 6 minus 3 is 3. 6 minus 5 is 1. And 6 minus 6 is what, 0. So if you look at this table that we have formed, you notice that in this 0 diagonal, whatever is kind of like, if you look at the perpendicular numbers that normally are like, you notice you're having minus, but the difference is just their sign. The difference is just their sign. So y here is minus 2, over here is 2, y here is minus 3, over here is 3, and over here is 1. So the same thing. So it's kind of a quick way in case if you don't have time to maybe fill in the whole this, mainly you get this diagonal and get either one part or the other. The other is just simply adding your minus, then that's all. So now that we have gotten this, what we'll be following is what I call the select y and delete or block block times what 2. This is the approach I'll be following now. Now you go to your table. You go to your table and we'll say that our y, which is the value we are trying to get from the question, the y that the question demanded for us when the age is what 4. So we are where the age is 4 months. So we are trying to get that y. Now that y will be equal to, like I said, select what y. So you will come for the first one, for the first y, which is this is the first y. This is our second y, third y, fourth and last. So for the first y, you will select your what first y. Then you multiply it. Now, the block 2 still on this same row. We're not leaving this row. This is for just the first y. When you selected the first y, still on that same row, you draw a block on the of xg minus x on that column, and you also draw a block where the next place you see what 0. Next place you see 0. So what this means is that we'll be selecting this, but we won't be using this and this in the next thing we want to do. So how we normally solve Lagrange's formula is we will select this and the multiple of every other thing apart from this one in block, and over every other thing that is apart from this one in block will be parts of, we'll do it for 5 of 5 of them. So let us continue so you understand what I'm saying. So for this one, I have selected our 5. Now for the next line, everything that is not in that block, we multiply it. So you'll be having 2 times 1 times minus 1 times minus 2 over the next one over, this is the one you multiply all this, you have minus 2 minus 3 times minus 3 times minus 4 times minus 6. Now all this you will add them, then you move over to the second row, which is this for x1. So the same thing that you did for the first row, you also be doing it for the second row. You select your your y. We're not dealing on the second row. We select our y. Now we block under the column of xg minus x, and we block the 0 in that row. We block the 0 in that row, and what it means is that we'll be making use of this, and this. Now we will then impute, we then move over to our formula and say 7 times, we are blocking this, so we are going to be multiplying the rest, leaving this one, which is 4 times 1 times minus 1 times minus 2 over, come over here, we are blocking this, but the rest will multiply them. So we have 2 times minus 1 times minus 3 times minus 4. That's for that. Now you are done with this second. We're going to be having 5 additions because we are having 5 values of x and y. So we are given 5 values in the table. We're going to be having 5 additions to get our y. So we are done with the second row. Now we're moving over to the third row. The same thing that we did for the first and the second, we're doing it for the third row too. Now for the third row, again, you select your words y and you block your corresponding xg minus x value from that row. You block this, and then for the 0, you also block the 0, meaning that this time around we're going to be using this, and this to get the third addition we're going to be making. So plus 8 times 4 times 2 times minus 1 times minus 2 over this 3 times 1 times minus 2 times minus 3. Now we'll be going to the fourth addition, plus, now we're moving over to the what? To the fourth row. The same thing we did for the first, second, and third, we're doing it for the what? Fourth. The same thing repeats itself again. Select this, block this one, and block the next one with what? 0. Meaning that we are going to be making use of this, and this. So you say your 10 times 4 times 2 times 1 times minus 2 over 5 times 3 times 2 times minus 1. We are done with the fourth addition. We move over to the fifth one. The same thing. So I hope you have gotten the idea by now. When you select this y value and you block this xg minus x value, the next the one that has 0 on that row, you block it, and that column that has that 0 is the one you'll be making use of. So in this case, we will select this, block this, and select and block this. So when we do that, we have 12 times 4 times 2 times 1 times minus 1 over, coming over here, 6 times 4 times 3 times what? 1. So we have gotten what we want from the table. So the reason why we did this thing initially, because the Lagrange's formula though it is helpful and it's good to understand it, but at some point you might get lost in some sense that in the formula. So it's always good that you follow this other way. This one will ensure that you are right on track. But if you still prefer to follow the other, follow the formula itself, good and fine. No one will penalize you. Okay, so we have gotten this. Now we can now get our y value. So we will have to multiply everything. Then we have that our y is equal to 5 times 4. So we're having 4 on top over 180. Move over to the next one. 7 times 8 over minus 24. So this will be changing to what? Minus sign. Now move over to the next one. We have plus 8 times 16. Now for the denominator, 18. Now move over to the next one. 10 times minus 8 times minus 2. That's minus 16 over minus 30. So this minus will cancel out this minus. We're left with this. For the next one, 12 times minus 8 over 72. So because of this minus, this will change to what? Minus. Now we can now add. So 5 times 4 is 20 over 180 minus 7 times 8 is what? 56 over 24. 8 times 16 is what? 128 over 18 plus 10 times 16 is 160 over 30 minus 8 times 12 is what? 96 over 72. Now with your calculator, we have our answer to be 80 over 9, which is approximately 8.888. So we can also say 89 in 2 decimal places. So what this means is that at the age of 4 months, our baby's weight will be what? 8.89 pounds. So that's all for this video. I hope it was fun. If this was helpful, smash the like button and subscribe to the channel. See you soon. Goodbye.